At a family dinner, I sat at the table with a broken arm, unable even to hold a fork. Hunger clawed at my stomach as the guests sat in tense silence. My daughter spoke first, her voice calm and cold. My husband taught her a lesson. My son-in-law puffed up with pride. The old woman thought she ran the show. I proved otherwise. I smiled back at him, small, deliberate, calculated. 10 minutes later, when the doorbell rang, Tavarius opened it and learned who really held the power in this house. Before we begin, friends, I ask a small favor. If this story resonates with you, please subscribe. Hit that like button and tell me in the comments where you're listening from. It always warms my heart to see how far our community reaches. Now, enjoy the story. The smell of roast duck with apples, rich, buttery, intoxicating, hung in the air like a heavy fog. To anyone else, it would mean celebration, warmth, family. To me, sitting at the head of my own dining table, it was a reminder of helplessness. I stared at my plate, white china with a thin gold rim, a set my late husband and I bought in the French Quarter 40 years ago. Tonight, the plate was empty, perfectly, humiliatingly empty. To my right lay the reason why. A thick plaster cast, still cold from the hospital, encased my forearm. Every heartbeat sent dull pain through the swelling underneath. I didn't need the X-ray to know the bone was fractured with displacement. I had heard it, the dry, sickening snap when Tavarius slammed me into the doorframe the night before. "Come on, y'all, don't be shy," Tavarius boomed, loud enough to drown out the polite clinking of cutlery. He sat in my husband's seat, the high-backed chair upholstered in dark velvet, as though he owned the place. His shoe jacket hung open, and his face shone with liquor and arrogance. He hacked away at the duck with barbaric enthusiasm, shoveling huge chunks into his mouth, grease dripping down his chin. Around the table sat 3 of his subordinates from City Hall. They kept their eyes down, eating in silence, trying to ignore the elderly black woman beside them, me, sitting without food, without dignity, trapped in my own home. I tried lifting the duck platter with my left hand, but it was too heavy. To ask for help would be to beg, and I refused to give Tavarius that satisfaction. One of the guests, a young man in glasses, hesitated. Maybe we should serve Miss Ophelia some—" "Stay out of it, Marcus," Tavarius snapped, pouring himself another glass of expensive cognac. "Miss Ophelia is on a diet today. Therapeutic fasting clears the mind. Done it, Mama." His glare was triumphant, predatory. My daughter added quietly, not meeting my eyes, "It was a necessary lesson." For 30 years, I operated on brains, saw where memory lived, where fear hid. But I still couldn't find the moment when I lost my daughter, when she became this shadow clinging to a worthless man. My stomach twisted painfully. I hadn't eaten since yesterday, since the moment Tavarius demanded the deed to my condo and threw me into the wall when I refused. The grandfather clock ticked in the corner, steady and cold. Tick, tick, tock. My father's clock. It always kept perfect time. Tavarius raised his glass. "To discipline," he declared. "A house needs order. The one who pays the bills gives the rules, and the one living off charity sits quiet." Something shifted inside me then. emotion freezing into something sharp and calm, the feeling I used to get just before taking a scalpel in hand. I straightened as much as the pain allowed. "Tavarius?" I said quietly. The room stilled. Even the guests stopped chewing. He didn't turn. "What do you want?" "You're sitting in my husband's chair, and you have exactly 1 minute left to enjoy it." Tavarius barked a laugh. "Threatening me, old woman? Gonna hit me with your task? Go ahead. Count down. 59, 58. But I didn't look at him. I watched the second hand on the clock. He didn't know a thing. He didn't know that the silence in this apartment wasn't submission. It was a countdown. The second hand on the grandfather clock swept forward with a smooth, merciless glide. 42 seconds. 41. Tavarius lifted his glass again, pretending he wasn't watching me from the corner of his eye. His bravado was a thin, cracking shell. "Don't start with your time games," he said, waving his fork. "Ain't nobody coming. Ain't nobody cares. You think you still somebody, Ophelia." He smirked. "But you ain't." My daughter flinched at my name spoken so carelessly, but remained silent, eyes glued to her lap. 30 seconds. A slow tremor crept through my fingertips. Not fear, but anticipation. The kind surgeons hide behind a steady breath. The young city hall worker fidgeted again. "Mr. Pierce, maybe we should—" "Shut up, Marcus," Tavarius snapped. "You too damn jumpy." 20 seconds. I let the silence thicken like a storm cloud ready to burst. Not a soul in that room truly believed me. Not yet. But they would. The grandfather clock chimed a single soft note as the minutes shifted. Time. A heavy knock thundered through the apartment. Tavarius froze mid-laugh. 3 slow, deliberate knocks. Not frantic, not polite. Authority knocks. My daughter's fork slipped from her fingers and clattered onto her plate. Tavarius forced a grin. "Expecting company, Mama?" I lifted my chin. Yes. Before he could respond, another commanding knock hit the door, shaking the frame. Tavarius's confidence evaporated. Who the hell? He pushed away from the table, stumbling slightly, and marched to the door with the swagger of a man who didn't yet understand his world was collapsing. He yanked it open. Conversation died. Air stilled. Every person at the table turned. Standing in the hallway were 3 uniformed officers and a woman in a crisp navy suit whose badge gleamed under the chandelier light. She was calm, stone-faced, the kind of calm that meant she wasn't here for a polite conversation. "Mr. Tavarius Pierce?" she asked. Tavarius puffed up, falsely confident. "Yeah? This some kind of misunderstanding?" The woman held up a folded document. City Hall received an anonymous report of elder abuse and unlawful confinement. Tavarius's mask cracked. That's ridiculous. Who called?" "I did," I said from the table. He whipped around, eyes blazing. "You!" The woman stepped past him without waiting for permission, scanning the room, assessing the broken arm, the empty plate, the tension woven into every face. Her jaw clenched. She didn't ask who the victim was. She didn't need to. She approached me with gentle professionalism. "Ma'am, are you able to stand?
Do you need medical assistance? Tavarius sputtered. She lying. She fell. She tripped. The officer behind him spoke. That cast looks fresh, and the x-ray records requested this morning tell a different story. My daughter crumbled, tears spilling silently. Please, please don't take him. You did this, Tavarius snarled, pointing at me with a shaking hand. You... The lead officer stepped forward, voice low and unmovable. Tavarius Pierce, please place your hands behind your back. Panic swallowed his face. You can't arrest me. I'm a city official. The officer didn't blink,